Hello everyone, I'm Gary York, CorruptionBehindBars.com. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel, and if you like this video, please subscribe. I wanted to do a quick video today on prison pets. You know, many inmates have pets, secret pets in prison, and we've run across some really wild pets in our times. And you know, take the movie Escape from Alcatraz, for example. The inmate in the library who ran the library, he had a little pet bird that he carried around in his pocket and fed it breadcrumbs during chow time. The Green Mile, we remember Mr. Jingles, the mouse, big part of the movie. Well, those are movies, but it's actually true. Inmates do like pets to keep care of for one reason or another. Companionship, the feeling of caring for something. And what I wanted to talk about today, though, was a strange case that was in Florida, and a friend of mine who retired now and used to work for the Florida Department of Corrections was working down south in Miami. And Ralph told me a story about a very strange pet that an inmate had one day, and it caused a big tussle when they tried to remove the pet from the inmate's cell. Ralph was explaining to me that down in Miami there are king toads or cane toads that came originally from Australia, and a flight of these toads came into the Miami airport and they were headed somewhere else. But there's a story about how these cane toads or king toads escaped from their crates and got into the jungles of Florida down in South Miami and started to reproduce at a rapid pace. And an inmate had gotten a hold of a cane toad, and he'd gotten a hold of a empty M&M box from the canteen, and that's where his cane toad stayed and lived, and was under his bunk in his cell, and he cared for this toad. And one day a concerned inmate came up to Ralph and says, "Hey, we got a guy that's going off down there in his cell, and he's also got a cane toad down there, and some strange stuff is going on with this toad." So Ralph called for backup and another officer, and he and the officer approached. Two officers approached, which is good protocol, correct? And they asked the inmate what's going on, and his eyes looked very glossy. He looked like he was in another world. He looked high as a kite. So they had the inmate step outside the cell, and they started to search his room, and they found this cane toad. And when they found this cane toad, the inmate went wild, and he jumped on them. And you could hear, according to Ralph, the scuffling of feet, and they're trying to hold him down. They're trying to get him to comply. You could hear the chains ringing like jingle bells off their belts. And he said a third officer had to come in, and they finally were able to get control of this inmate and get him handcuffed. And they said he was just screaming bloody murder as he was leaving the cell, and they went to take him to medical. He was checked in at medical. Later on, he was placed in a confinement pending investigation, administrative confinement pending investigation. But anyway, it turns out that these king toads or cane toads contain, and I'm going to have to read it, a chemical called Bufotein, Bufotein, which is very dangerous and harmful. It's a protection from nature that nature gave them, I guess, to keep other animals from bothering them. It's a terrible taste, and I guess it has some type of poison with it. But what was happening is a thing called toad licking. The inmate was a heroin addict on the street, and apparently from testimony of other inmates, and later from this inmate, after he came down from his high and was being transported, he told the transport officer that he would mash the toad, it would secrete this liquid, and he would lick it, and it would get him high as a kite, and it was his substitute for heroin. If you wonder what happened to the cane toad, it was released back into the woods in Florida, into the wood line, and the inmate did receive a disciplinary confinement time, a disciplinary report, and was transferred out of the prison. But I would like to know from all of you, what strange prison pet stories do you have? If so, leave a comment at the bottom of this YouTube. And other pets that we've had in Florida on a regular basis in jail and in prison are small alligators. The inmates will catch a small alligator, bring it into their cell or dorm, and keep it as a pet. We've also had snakes that have kept as pets, and some wild things. So let us know what strange prison pets you've discovered in your career, and we'd like to hear about it. And always, thank you for watching CorruptionBehindBars.com, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.